All right, everybody. So welcome back once again. Last session, you all made the jump into Dawn V from the manifest zone, leading you all into the plane of perfect order, to find a device known as the Quintessence Engine, one of the many artifacts you are in the process of collecting for the Clifftop Guild at the behest of one Nigel Fowris. You all managed to get there and face minimal opposition, having defeated most of the Emerald Claw agents that were trying to oppose you before even making the jump. And yet another one meeting an untimely end, as he showed you all a little bit about the rules of Dawn V. So, finding yourselves locked into the bureaucracy of the plane, unless you wish to face a similar fate to the one Emerald Claw member, you all began to go through the lines, the paperwork, the forms, the questionnaires, all of these various things so that you could gain possession of the quote-unquote defective Quintessence Engine, the defect being a mere cosmetic fault to it, but any imperfection at all would not be tolerated in Dawn V. So after all of this queuing and forms and questionnaires, you eventually did receive permission to recover the Quintessence Engine. You were then sent to essentially the junkyard of Dawn V. It was still perfectly ordered, and crates upon crates of rows neatly arranged, even for their discarded items. And when you got there, you found that the final Emerald Claw agent had also arrived. Using the remains of several creatures to his advantage that were stored here in the junkyard, he did his best to retrieve the engine before you all could get it, to stop you all from achieving that, but you were all able to defeat this individual. And all the while, he was saying some unusual things to Yuji, recognizing his armor, recognizing his insignia as being old, ancient Emerald Claw from before they became what they are now. And leaving some hints about her, how she was the one who would ultimately possibly judge Yuji. But that is where we left off, right after that fight. Right after that fight, and you all are still in Dawn V at the junkyard. Not long after your fight, several Modrones make their way in and begin cleaning up the mess. You can tell that they wheeled with them some rather hefty machinery. You could tell that they were expecting to have to deal with some unpleasantries, but after seeing the aftermath and how calmly you all were acting, they allowed you to go about your business. You had all the paperwork to be here. Your opponent did not. And so you are left undisturbed. So, the Quintessence Engine now in hand. Your opposition in Dawn V defeated. What would you all like to do?
I guess we need to find somewhere to stay so that we can wait out the requisite 2 weeks before for us to receive our official identification crystals.
On some planes, time travel is funny, right? We know that from the past.
Time does act strangely in certain planes.
Does it feel like that on this plane, or is it such rigid clockwork that it's actually probably on time? Or
Arcana, religion, or history, I think would be appropriate for anyone that would like to check that.
I'm not good at any of those, so let's see what we're going to pick today.
Or Yuji, just smash, no brain.
Yeah, I mean...
Dimitri, you have good Arcana, yes?
Yep. I am very well trained.
I was going to say, Yuji went ahead and rolled. I was going to say I was good.
It's
I
fine.
He was like asking out loud. I was going to offer to help.
You all have all the time you
Dimitri.
need.
Help Dimitri. Don't help me. Don't waste your time on that. So.
Tinge rolls present.
Hey, 27.
Present.
As far as you are aware, Dimitri, time does flow the same here as it does on all other planes. Or at least I should say on the material planes.
But would he lie because he wants to stay here? No. But we don't have we have no pressing time frame here. We got it. We have no rush to get to the next one.
Well, we don't know what's going on outside the plane.
We may never get this opportunity again.
Good.
Can I?
James, I'm gonna get the fuck out of here.
Pipes up from his sentinel mode to just say good, and then goes back to like stillness.
Can I like start investigating the other Emerald Claw member that we smashed and seeing if there's like any information on him, Emerald Claw, visage or signage, a pocketbook, anything like that that would lead to more information about what he was saying?
Yeah, go ahead and make an investigation check.
All right.
Okay. Yuji, you do find a small notebook on him.
Glorious.
The words in it are written in a cipher.
AJ knows that he needs a key for a cipher, but is that something Yuji could deduce, or do we need another roll?
Or are you showing this journal to your companions?
Well, I think Yuji would like look at it, open it up, realize he can't read it, and then kind of flip it forward, like, anyone?
I have magic for understanding languages, but it will not decode ciphers and secret messages.
I'll be happy to
Yuji,
get a look at it. That
is actually interesting that you should say that, because Yuji, while you cannot read the words, the symbols you do vaguely recognize. They appear to be in, well, I'm assuming that your native tongue was from Karnath, right?
Got 2 languages to my name, Common and Draconic. So, yes.
Okay, never mind. Language would not be relevant here then. It's
Dang,
reminiscent
right, cool.
of a code system that you used back in your military days.
Yeah, but he wouldn't remember that.
Okay.
Dang it, this stupid forgetting everything you know cop out.
I like puzzles. I mean, if we're going to have to be forced to leave this pleasant
We got
realm,
2 weeks, right?
well, if we're staying,
I don't know if we're staying.
I'm gonna keep investigating him then while you guys figure that part out.
it would be selfish of me, but I would vote to stay. But I can be likely convinced otherwise.
Were we given any impression about urgency on this when
No.
we were given the task?
You
or
were
just
not.
go get it?
Just go get it. You weren't even told how you're getting back. It's not like the lightning
Yeah, we
train's
were.
still going to be there.
Oh yeah. We were told that we need to jump off of a building and we'll come back near where we were. And
Exactly.
probably there will be a train somewhere nearby that we can hop onto.
Right. Amaldi said that he would get you. He would come and get you when you came back.
We're way too trusting.
Tinge wants to figure out. I think I missed a little bit of the automaton guys coming in. Did they take the guy Tank Man away, or is he still available to figure out why he's Tank Man?
Well, they would have come in to remove his body, but if Yuji would have asked to go over it like he was, they would have left it until he was done.
That's the case.
So what kind of armor is he wearing? Is it in one piece?
As you check, it appears to be fused to him.
Oh, yeah, because he's undead.
He is actually not undead. He is dead now, but he was not undead.
Warforged?
No.
Or was he?
Can I like make a medicine check to investigate further, or are you just gonna tell us?
You can, yeah.
Okay.
So, it's partially a necromantic rite. He's been fused with the bones of his victims to create his armor.
Oh, so it's bone.
Bone and steel interwoven. But yes, mostly bone.
And his weapon, I guess I will go ahead and detect magic to see if he had anything that, I know he himself seemed to present the ability to cast spells, but
Yes.
see if he had anything on him that was intrinsically magical.
And so you cast Detect Magic ritual for 10 minutes?
Yes.
Okay.
Actually, I have it prepared. I can use his spell slot, and I
Okay.
have all of my first level spell slots left.
Wow. Okay. His greatsword, a mighty weapon, massive, almost comically large. The handle itself is clearly ivory, source undetermined. And the blade has intricate carvings and runes all up one side, while the other side is its cutting edge. That weapon does show a faint aura of magic.
And that's the only anything that seems to radiate magic on him. I will set it to the side.
I will double check.
Within 30 feet of you.
Oh. He does carry a small sack with him.
More frogs?
Magic frogs.
Maybe it's an emerald claw thing. I don't know.
The pouch does release some magic from it. It appears that he collected the valuables of several of his fallen comrades, perhaps to return them home, whatever it may be, but inside is a ring. It is opalescent, almost, and has a bright red ruby at its center. It also emits an aura of magic.
Dimitri, can you tell what type of magic?
Given enough time, I'm sure I can discern the school or be able to even identify the items themselves.
It's the protective kind. It starts with an A. I forget the school's name so often.
Abjuration.
There you go.
Have a free
Oh,
for all
also,
for that one.
there are 4 iron bands inside of this pouch. The knight himself wears one that has fallen off of him now that he is slain. These
there's 5 in total.
5 in total. These iron bands also emit a faint aura of magic. This time you can sense necromancy. And these iron bands have a roughly cut emerald in the shape of a claw embedded into them.
Do you recognize these, Yuji?
Would I recognize these?
Well, it depends on how much you remember.
You want to do, what is it? Hold on.
Yeah.
I know this. Forgotten Memories?
Roll a d8. If it's a different one, well, we'll see if it's an appropriate one for what you roll.
D8, here we go.
3.
3.
Okay, I gotta pull up your sheet real quick. There we go. So 3 is a childhood memory, which would unfortunately give you no benefit to this particular circumstance.
Cool.
Those of you that fought in the last war, however, can make a history check.
It definitely fought in the last war. I'm not very good at history, but
Hey, 17's not bad. Okay. Okay. Kay, you would recognize that as a loyalty band.
So it marks them as being loyal to the Emerald Claw.
And kills them should they be
They
captured.
aren't. Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yuji will pick one up and put that in his bag for later.
Essentially a suicide pill.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm not putting one of those on, no matter how much I might want to impersonate an Emerald Claw for a specific mission. But it's good to know
No.
exactly what they look like.
That's unconscionable. Are their
Emerald Claw.
secrets so really so great that they have to they don't even allow for someone to
Yuji would
potentially
kind
be
of
released?
look over the skeleton, look over him myself, and be like, "This is happening for other people. Do you think they want anyone to know about it? I'm amazed I'm even still here."
I'm back with your shield or on it.
Does this look like potentially a dragon marked creation, like whether it would be, I don't know, Caneth, or maybe I forget the one that actually makes sort of like the living monstrosities? Like
Living
what was done to him? There's the one house Caneth that like is, I mean not Caneth, but dragon marked house
Right.
that works with living things too.
Yeah.
I think
They're kind of like beast masters. They do. I mean, like they create like faster hippogriffs and griffins and.
yeah, but I think that some of them have been known to create less well accepted things.
Yeah.
Scrupulous
No.
things.
This
Okay.
individual and what was done to him does appear to be necromantic rituals, not any sort of manipulation of life energy or anything like that.
Well, that's comforting.
Yuji just, maybe.
In your time, Yuji, can you remember what the right way to put someone like that to rest would be? I mean, I'm not religious, but I think that it looks like his life was a life of torment. Perhaps giving him appropriate rites might send him on into whatever's after with a bit more ease.
See Yuji just kind of get this big shit-eating grin. Just Dimitri, you're always entertaining me with these crazy ideas.
I think the Modrons will take very good care of him.
There were
They will
if there
recycle him.
If there
There
were
are
any,
three
if there were
places.
sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. I was to say there are three places we could put him: the catacombs in Autur, the Bone Fort, or the Undead Fort. I suspect he would want to go into the catacombs, where he could be risen again when needed.
We don't want him risen again.
No, I guess recycle into particulate pieces, and I will stomp on like the floor, much like whatever made this probably was.
Not sure if there are any laws or regulations about how he should be disposed of. The Modrons will follow them to the letter.
Okay, there's a Modrone right next to you. Kind of just appears there as they do. And he would let you know that they would inter him according to his customs, and if he has no customs to inter along, then he would be recycled.
Excellent.
What's the saying? Waste not, want not?
Reuse, recycle, reanimate.
Oh,
I don't know.
was
My vote's for the second
terrible.
one, but
Reduce, reuse, recycle, reanimate. There we go.
Oh, that was horrible. That was so
Yuji
good.
would
Oh, really?
looking.
I figured since
Yuji
they were
looking
keeping track
hard.
of the other days of time moving on the other ones in. So
They
10
do
days
keep
on
track of-
Dawnvi is 1 day in Eberron. All right.
How long is one? Say it again.
10 days in Dawnvi is 1 day in Eberron.
Woohoo!
And 10 days would quote unquote be a week, right?
Yeah,
Per
yeah.
their math.
And it could be 1,000 years for poor Tinge.
Yuji looking at this corpse again after fully trying to get as much information as he could from it. We'll tell the Unidron to burn it to dust. If we don't want him coming back, we should leave him, or we should get rid of him completely.
Okay.
If that's the tradition of your people.
No, I already told you the tradition. We put him in the catacombs, the vaults of the dead. But that seems like a bad idea.
I agree. I can tell you that when British Special Forces dealt with Karnathi irregulars, our standard operating procedures were to incinerate the dead. Never fight something twice that you only have to fight once.
Suppose I can't fault the logic.
But that was during the war. But I don't think the Emerald Claw really care that the war is over.
No, it seems like they may have missed the message.
Or that per him and this her, the message was loud and clear, and they are still operating for some goal which we need to discover.
Also a possibility.
And then
So,
Yuji gets all sassy for vengeance.
For vengeance.
as for whether or not we should remain to receive our personalized crystals, identification crystals, I am fine either way. If we do remain, there is some things I would like to determine if could be learned here. But if we are ready to go and to get on about our lives in Eberron, I am more than willing to leave this place. It is very sterile.
I know, isn't it pleasant? It's a nice change.
Is that Modron still there?
Yep.
I would turn to him and say, I have a question for you. Is there a procedure to expedite receiving permanent identification crystals?
He would say, yes, of course. You just gotta fill out the requisite forms.
Could you direct us to where those, what forms we need to fill out, and
It
where
would
to find
inform you that those forms were available for you when you first requisitioned your authorization form crystals.
Of course they were, but we didn't ask for them. We simply asked how long it would take.
Yep. So they will cut the time in half. So 10 days instead of 20. One 10 day instead of 2. If you get it, and yeah, you have all the time in the world to fill out those forms too.
Yep.
Excellent.
Yuji getting a bright idea here too. Can I see the forms of violence that was completed on my long lost friend?
Of course.
I'm searching for what his name would be.
Oh.
I feel like that might be helpful.
There is no evidence of this individual's name on him.
No,
Bastard.
I think
Oh,
he was
on
asking
his
if he
forms
could
of
get our
violence
form.
that he did.
Oh, smart.
Yes,
Okay.
and that's actually the next thing I was going to be asking about.
Oh, nice. We're on the same page then.
Okay.
Actually, not his forms. I'm worried about somebody else's forms. But I am curious where we go to file for information from the Infinite Archive.
Okay. We will say that you can get that information at the same administrative building where you got your other forms. So, if you all do intend to stay, there's no need to play out your waiting in lines and all that kind of stuff. We could just say that within the first 2 days, you've waited in all the lines that you've needed to, retrieved whatever forms that you're after, and spent as much time as you needed to receive those forms.
Oops. That's the wrong... Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
You all right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
While we're waiting, can I continue to work on that cipher, and at the same time try and figure out work with Dimitri on what the ring is in terms of magical ability?
Oh yeah, and I guess I will put effort into identifying these artifacts.
Okay.
And then I assume we get a long rest because I could totally use one.
Yes. And you all can level up.
Yeah, look at that. Okay.
So,
Prepared for that.
the sword, given that you've all had, if I heard correctly, you've taken the couple days that you need to sit through the lines, get the forms that you need, identify your items. All of that is assumed to have taken place over the past 2 days, correct?
Yep.
Awesome.
Totes.
So, the pouch contains several of those bands that you now know the purpose of, and that is confirmed, and a ring of fire resistance.
Ooh.
The sword is a +1 vicious greatsword that goes by the name of Bone Cleaver.
I think there's only one of us here that uses a great sword.
Yuji.
As I'm looking for the Jack Nicholas gif right now, as we're talking about this. Yuji just slowly staring at Tinge across the room. Yes, great sword. Bone Cleaver.
Not June Cleaver. Ooh, I get Flash of Genius now.
During your time here, during your waiting in line and all of these things, through overhearing conversations, you would also have learned that the Donvi markets are second to none. While they do not haggle here, you can get pretty much anything that you want for what is considered the... I keep wanting to say galactic because I've been playing so much fucking sci-fi, but what is considered the universal standard price.
Manufacturer suggested retail price.
There you are, the MSRP.
Is there a way to access the bank?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, where we put all of our money.
I have no money.
Yeah, right. You all put your money in the bank. I would definitely say that you have access to your
Yuji
bank
doesn't
money
trust
here.
the banks.
Yuji carries this around in a
I mean-
mattress strapped to his back. But yes, you
I
all
put
can
it
have
at the-
access.
If anywhere would have a bank named this, I'm pretty sure that Don V might have a Silicon Valley Bank.
My company banked with them.
Oh dear.
Oh,
Why
really?
not?
They were actually in the process of switching to Chase before all of this. They've been for the past year have been going through the process of switching. So nothing is really messed up with us at all, which was in my
That's
opinion,
great.
really great.
Yeah, I hear all these horrible small businesses that all of their money is tied up there. Did your mom ever
Somebody
teach
I-
you about eggs in baskets?
Somebody I know is does contract work for startup software companies. That's pretty much all he does is contract work for software startups, and he's got invoices out to 3 different startups, and
They're
Sorry,
like,
getting paid,
sorry. Oh,
Tori's sister's partner, Tori's sister's husband. Yeah, they're married. Tori's sister's husband is also in tech and does stuff like that. But he just got out of the startup thing and got a more consistent job like last year or so.
good for him.
Yeah, but yeah, he was doing startups for a while too. From what I hear from you, I heard nothing but bad things about that whole situation from him.
Dumpster fire? Yeah.
Sounds like a very stressful way to live.
All right.
So
Well, the
the-
only thing I get out of this. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was just gonna stare at Eugene and be like, so, what are you gonna do with that sword?
We could sell it.
Still, it's +1 sword and still give him the vicious sword.
Vicious.
So it's a +1 vicious sword?
That's what I'm wondering.
Vicious great sword.
Yes.
Okay.
Wow. I didn't even know those existed.
I don't think it does. I looked it up.
You get a vicious greatsword, you tack a +1 onto it.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was gonna say, you guys are working too hard here. Yuji with like this great joy on his face, just hands it over to Dimitri, like, "Oh yeah, let's go. Here we go." Extra 2d6.
Yeah, bonus crit.
Wow.
Great
That's
weapon
amazing.
master crit. Here we go, baby.
So that 1 in 8,000 times I roll a crit, it'll work.
Watch the crits just start rolling in now.
You should roll a crit. 5% of the time.
Should. And do.
Someone's
So yes,
gotta
we will
break
say that you
the
all have access to your bank money here.
And then you build an elf blade singer with elven accuracy who crits
All the time.
15%
yeah.
of the time.
Nice.
All right. So what is it that people are needing to acquire here? Dimitri has in the bank 2,000 gold pieces, and on his person.
While they're doing the math there, hey Sean, I have a
13.
medic question for you about my character.
What's up?
So I thought we had a couple more sessions before this level up was going to occur, so I'm a little off guard.
Okay.
I had this idea that inflict wounds remains because of the Mabari influence on
Uh-huh.
Yuji, and everyone gets to hear this cool part. And so I had this idea of multi-classing in a divine soul, and you get to pick a subclass. And so I was gonna click good, and instead of it doing cure wounds, would you be agreeable to it doing essentially rated damage, inflict wounds? Like a good version of causing pain? Question. If you don't have to answer me now either, but
I
wasn't
mean,
ready
I don't
for
see a
this,
problem
so-
with that. I just feel bad having you, because you already know inflict wounds. So
Yeah, but radiant damage, and so I'm trying to play off of that. Influences in Illyrian and Dimitri and the rest of the party are affecting him in a positive light. And I was trying to think of a way that I could.
what
make
else
that
do you get on this
physically
level up?
possible.
Because I don't want you to have to spend a whole one of your class features on essentially getting a spell that you already know.
So did Divine Soul, Divine Soul Sorcerer, and in that I get to pick a Divine Magic subclass, Chaos, Evil, Good, Law, Neutrality, and each of them gives me a spell. And I kind of know all of them, I think. So
Right.
none of them are like notably great, but the big thing is it doesn't count. I can use it once a day that it doesn't count towards my spell slots. We don't have to answer it now, too. We can
Right.
answer it
My
now, too,
first
so.
instinct says to allow you to do a once a day usage of being able to change up your necrotic spells to do radiant damage, or a necrotic spell,
That's a good
or
idea.
like that's my first instinct. But like,
So yeah, good gives me cure wounds, evil is inflict wounds, law is bless, chaos is bane, and neutrality is protection from good and evil. And I know all of them. I think, or except for cure wounds.
And you get 1 usage a day, right?
Yep. Let me copy and paste it here for you.
Okay, so why don't we change that from once a day? Let me know what the rest of you think about this. I want to do something where once a day he can choose, maybe for 1 minute, maybe for 10 minutes, depending on what we think about the balance, where he can choose to have all of his necrotic spells do radiant damage instead.
By spending a sorcery point, or just all.
Just once per long rest, like he would get with the
Okay.
spell.
He doesn't have sorcery point, and you don't get to cast the additional spell, the sorcerer spell, as a once per day without a spell slot. It's that it doesn't count against your.
Okay, it doesn't count against your spell's known. Okay.
Oh, okay, very good.
You still have to use a spell slot
Not
to cast
prepared.
it.
Well, it wouldn't be a prepare. Yeah, you just know it.
Right.
Yeah, sorcerers aren't prepared casters; they're known casters.
Right.
So we would essentially get rid of that and exchange it for what I mentioned.
Okay. I'll write that down and we'll figure out how to add that to my character sheet.
Carl, you know balance way more than I do.
Yeah.
Like
I would have to think about this.
yeah, let's think. Let's.
Divine Soul Sorcerer is already pretty darn powerful. Before Clockwork Soul and Aberrant Mind came out, it was
Right.
head and shoulders the most powerful.
Yeah, I've heard.
sorcerer.
I have indeed heard that before.
All right, well, we'll table it and I'll
Oh,
just put
poo.
law, because that's originally what I had in mind.
There.
There's
Okay.
there's no going back on anything once you've locked in your level
Oh,
up.
no.
Is there?
Unless you want to start from scratch.
Oh, in Roll20 on the
Yeah.
Character Mancer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What'd you
Because
do?
I had forgotten that I had considered picking up Wizard as a secondary class now.
Choice.
Instead of keeping down the path of Artificer.
I mean, yeah, that's we'll have to build it from level 1 mistake, unfortunately, in Roll20. If it had been like I missed a class feature, I missed a spell, those kind of things we could just do manually, but a whole ass class being missing, unfortunately, is a throw it away and start again with the sheet.
Okay, now I still don't. Thank you for reminding me why I actually love D&D
Oh
Beyond.
yeah, Beyond 20, D&D Beyond's character creator is bar none superior to the Character Mancer. Like there is no comparison. There's really not. It's just better in every conceivable way for creating characters.
Yeah, and I guess I have my character on D&D Beyond.
I mean, you could always do what Carl does and just link your character sheet. The only thing that I ask is that you keep on top of your level ups and your class abilities in your character sheet, so I can.
Yeah, I'll
reference
have to do then I would have to fix Dimitri in between games, so I don't take up tonight. Redo I guess if you make a second character sheet, then I can redo them from level 1 so that I get the 7th level appropriately as Wizard instead of Artificer.
Okay.
And I will do the appropriate connection on 20.
I'm verifying this because this. Yep. As of July of 2022 is the most recent time someone posted angrily about this, that there's no way to go back. Yep, okay. Yep. Alright, Dimitri. Bob, you do have a second Dimitri character sheet in there for you to begin with.
D-level.
Up at the top.
Thank you.
No problem. Okay, so are you all doing any shopping? I'm assuming you are, since you've mentioned your banks and stuff. You all
Before we do
know.
the shopping, I do have one question.
Oh yeah, of course. If anyone has anything else we want to go over, definitely.
So, there is one thing I would have filed forms to try to find information about from the Infinite Archive.
Okay.
And that is any information they can give me on a person by the name of Din Vakri. That's my father. And if the answer is that nothing comes back before we leave, that's fine too.
Okay. This isn't something we've talked about, is it?
It's in my backstory.
Okay.
But I didn't mention to you that I might ask you about that this session, and I'm sorry, I should have warned you.
No problem. So, yeah, let's go ahead and say that you've gotten. We'll say that you got some forms, that you got some information on them. What that information is, we'll visit.
Later.
Yes.
That's fine.
Exactly,
Okay.
because I'll need to go back and reread your backstory and all that good stuff.
Tinge will point out that, one, he didn't know anything about that, and two, there's this weird goblin guy that we owe a favor to. We should find some information about him.
Oh yeah. His name is.
Gotta scroll way up.
Right.
Yep.
That.
Doruk.
Doruk. Jeez, it's been so long since we've done any since we've been back to Sharn. Like, it feels like
We
it's
met
been
him at like
so
what,
long.
level 3?
That was from
we're gonna
September
come back
20th.
like crazy.
Yeah, because we did the Dargoon, and then we did Dargoon, and then Donvi was just feels like it's been so long. All right.
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
only
it's like
September
6 months
20th.
ago. I mean,
So
I'll
we don't. I guess we can figure out if we find anything or not later. Ultimately, from a shopping standpoint, armor.
Right.
Armor.
If you wanted to ask any questions about the things that you learned, that's perfectly fine. Especially things like Doruk and anything that I made. I can definitely answer questions about stuff like that. Obviously, the stuff that you'd get back on Doruk is that he's not a very nice individual.
Yeah, the records in Donvi about people would be,
What laws they've
they've broken
yeah.
or adhered to, stuff like that. Not anything very specific. So it would gladly tell us that he's like committed
A
murder,
criminal.
and theft, and larceny.
All right, so
yeah.
before we move on to shopping montage and I pull out the Sane Magic Prices guide to really start spending y'all's money, is there any other things that you all wanted to take care of? You got the Ring of Fire Resistance. I'll pull one of those out for you right now. And you got the Vicious Great Sword and the Bands of Loyalty. Okay. Who'd have thunk that is what the Ring of Fire Resistance does?
fireball. That's what it should do. When in doubt, fireball.
So, I have a question for the
Uh-huh.
group.
Okay, go ahead.
Anybody got 200 gold pieces to loan me?
I gotcha.
Because hopefully I, in the Donvi market, can find a Rod of the Pack Keeper, which you have told me is 2,000 gold pieces. I wrote it down.
Nice. Yeah, the
Something
power
in my
spike.
backpack is
The
just
power spike is about to be real
amazingly
this
lighter.
session.
So is that something I can find in the...
I was going to say that, so this is one of the two shopping things that I had planned for you guys. I figured if you did any shopping in Donvi, there would be no haggling, but you could find anything that you can afford, especially if you wait the 10 days, assuming that you started shopping on the third or fourth day. I couldn't imagine it taking longer than a few days for them to retrieve just about anything. Within reason, of course. We're excluding. I mean, you all couldn't afford wondrous items anyways, but within reason, anything that you can afford, you can find while you're in Dawnby. Yeah.
Then I'm not worried about haggling. It's worth 2,000 gold pieces for me. So if Yuji's willing to loan me 200, I have 1,800, and I buy a Rod of the Pack Keeper +1.
UG would buy the adamantine plate armor that he's been dying for, for 2k, and then Amulet of Devout +1 for 2k, and then I give K that 200 gold.
Jeez, Yuji's been loaded.
I mean, when I crushed out those two crazy poisons, that's when like it was game over, because I got like 1,500 gold for that out of the gates.
Tinge is also looking for adamantine armor and will need to sell his +1 sword of purple glowiness to afford it.
Okay.
Good night, sweet prince. You will be missed.
So, remember, anything that you sell retrieves half value. Able to go with that exactly here. So yeah, you all can sell whatever magic items that you want. Just find the value of them in the price guide and sell it for half.
And I'm pretty sure that it's probably significantly more than this, but how much would the I think it's an amulet of health?
Yeah, okay. It is priced at 8k.
Okay, yep, I figured that would be a not inexpensive item.
Tinge is short. He does not have enough money to buy that. I can only get 18 or 1,900.
I got
You
you,
all
bro.
do
How much
have
you need?
many other items. This would be a good opportunity
I got
to
you, bro.
sell.
What do you want?
Okay.
I mean, I can get up to 1,900. 1,908. Another 100.
I got you. You'll be broke by the time we leave here.
I mean, I will have eight gold when we leave.
Yeah,
If you're not broke after shopping, did you do shopping right?
Right. Straight up.
I think I'm expecting that I'm going to be getting armor whenever we make it back to Sharn, which is why I'm not trying to go out of my way to buy armor now.
Yeah.
I don't want to show up like in brand new armor and they're like, "Hey, we made this for him." Like,
Yeah, and you have been gone
Thanks.
long enough that your armor will certainly be done when you return.
"Thanks, guys. That's great." I guess I could go for a shield.
There you go.
How much is a +1 shield?
1,500.
I have that to spare. I will purchase a +1 shield.
Okay. I'm going to add it to everybody's journals, but you can go ahead and drag it from the... Oh, the same goes for anyone that's purchased items. Go ahead and drag it from the compendium. The compendium is open right now, so just go ahead and grab it from there, drag it on in, and drag it to your character sheet. I mean, and it'll set it off
Dimitri,
for
are you still doing that fortify armor, or did you drop that?
No, I can.
It's up to you.
I mean, well, you don't need it anymore, so not with that adamantine. So no.
Cool.
I just realized my Roll20 character sheet is way out of date. I'll get that updated before next session.
Okay. No worries. Yeah, I mean, basically what I do is whenever we're going to go into like a major arc fight, I like to go in and review everyone's character sheets, make sure I'm not throwing in something that's going to be too easy of a challenge, or throw something in that's going to overtax you all. Just stuff like that is really just what I need to see.
Yeah.
Since balance is so wonky in 5e, what I like to do is I like to go in and
Okay.
make a bunch
How
of
do I do
attacks and...
How do you drag it over?
Yeah, apparently I cannot do that. I just keep highlighting everything, and it's driving me insane.
So in the items, it'll be.
If you go to go to the compendium, just do a search on the item and then grab it and drag it in.
Exactly. It has to be from the compendium, not the
Grabbing
journal.
and drag it in is not working.
From the compendium, right? Not the journal.
From the
Not the journal.
compendium,
From the
not
compendium,
the journal.
not the
Okay,
journal.
gotcha.
Yep.
I was like, you put it in there. I'm like, I'm just grabbing it
Yeah.
over. I like
Yeah, it has to
everything,
be
and
from
I'm
the
just gonna
compendium.
throw my computer out the window.
Let me know if there's any other issues there.
Oh, got it.
Got it.
So everybody would have noticed a definite change in Kay over the past few days. He stopped speaking out loud, but you hear him fine in conversation inside your head.
That's not disconcerting at all.
Right.
Yeah, Dimitri during this time, he's taken a shine to paperwork and has acquired a book, and
Lovely.
is I guess will have found someone willing to do like Wizarding 101 training courses.
Hell yeah.
And I can continue that as a correspondence course when we leave. Because
It
it's
makes-
Don V.
With my being pack of the tome, the fact that you're taking wizard makes me a very happy person.
Lots of spells.
Yeah, because I want all of the ritual spells.
All the rituals. Well, I'm
Yeah,
planning to take.
It'll be one more level before I can start putting ritual spells, but
Gotcha. Yeah, I plan on taking a good number of rituals.
So, Sean did bring up a good point here. What do we want to do with some of these magic items? Do you still want to hoard them, or are we okay with getting rid of
which
them?
ones?
I don't know. I'm asking.
Well, anything in the party item stuff, and let me check and see if there's anything that we're missing from there that I've given to
Oh,
you.
the dust of sneezing and choking. That's you can't really use that against somebody. It's more of like almost a trap. He was actually very nice to us when he said he just told us what it was.
I mean, that's the only one that comes to me as being one we want to offload too.
Yeah, if we could sell that off, please do.
Which one? Oh, that and
What's the cloak of the smiling tyrant?
that is the
That's the
thing
one we
that I
got in the
got
Goblin.
in.
Okay.
Dimitri
Yeah.
gets that.
Okay.
That's
Super
not going
good.
nowhere.
I mean, if
Uh,
no one has any objections, I'm gonna take the fire resistance ring. Unless you want to tinge, you and me are kind of the front.
Yeah,
line,
you
so.
you or Tinge, I think, are like, especially you.
Yeah, I
think
can
are-
cast.
Tinge just says this one's yours.
Yeah, Dimitri can cast absorb elements, so I can give it to myself on a whim.
And I've seen how many times you've been the center of a fireball, so
That's what I was thinking, but I didn't want to be greedy here after I got all that I wanted. So
Don't want to be greedy, but mine.
I mean, Kay's right. I've taken enough fireballs in the face to, probably need some help.
And cannon fire.
And cannon fire. That's right. I keep forgetting about that.
yeah. I mean, if we could sell the dust of sneezing and choking here, let's do so.
Absolutely, 240 gold you'll get for it.
Divided by 4 is math.
Can we say 250 gold?
240.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Oh, there's only 4 of us. Sorry, that's 60 each. Yes. Sorry. That's 5. Sorry, guys.
I was so confused there. I was like, I'm
And
not
I'm a
that
math
bad. I
person.
thought, but damn.
Is anyone else having really bad laggy problems with Roll20?
No.
Surprisingly, no. I've actually, yeah, sorry. But yeah, no.
You must be taking it for the team.
That's Tinge's job.
Is greatsword
Yeah.
one word or two? One word, damn.
One
Is what?
Greatsword.
great sword. Technically,
Unless-
it's two. but
Unless
in
you're
D&D it's
describing
one.
it as a really great sword.
Taking a swing at making art for this great sword that we just...
Ah.
No, sir, I don't like it. Okay, I'll try again later.
I can't
The-
think of anything else that I want.
The group will notice the second that Tinge sells the purple glowy greatsword away and takes the vicious greatsword, his eyes change from purple to green.
Nice.
Awesome. So for what it's worth for everybody, Kay is officially Kalistar now.
Wow.
Yay! Woo!
Congratulations.
Indeed.
Actually, I did give up a skill proficiency to do that. I got a
Usually would
+1
come out of
wisdom.
the.
I got +1 wisdom and advantage on wisdom saving throws in the process, so I think it's a good deal.
Usually will kick open the curtains of the changing armory room, and I put the new link for his new look. And I think, just like Tinge has had some eye color change, it would become apparent that after we killed that Emerald Claw member, that Yuji's eyes are starting to actually regain some level of color. It's not such black anymore.
Awesome.
Indeed.
And not so bad, but still kind of bad guy. Yeah. Yeah.
Having a bad influence on him, Dimitri.
I'm trying.
I mean, organically, this has been way better than me just randomly being like, I want to be good one day.
Yeah, it's really hard because in other games I have, I'm like, kill them all. I'm like, no, not this one.
Pull it back. I'm good too. I'm all set up.
Okay.
Broken setup, so.
Unless anyone can think of anything that I did not think of that I should get.
How much money do you have?
560.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything that you could afford that would be high on the priority list for an artificer wizard.
Got it.
All right then. Fantastic. Okay, everybody. So, we can assume that 10 days have passed. You have received all of your paperwork, all of your forms that you've requisitioned, all of your many items that you were able to purchase from the Donvi markets, as well as your authorization crystals. So, not looking forward to the tremendous amount of stairs you'll likely have to climb to get to the roof of the authorization building that you all arrived on. You warily but triumphantly make your way back across the city to the very large, very square, very perfect building with far too many lines and far too many bureaucrats and far too many forms. You enter into the building, dreading the climb up those hundreds of stories of stairs, but you are immensely relieved to notice something that you all missed before. There is a large door in the central lobby with a small room inside. The sign above the door is written in countless different languages, several of which you all recognize to say lift. After several long, awkward minutes standing in a small room, listening to drearily cheery music playing from somewhere overhead, the doors open to a different scene. In front of you, you see the same 13-sided dome as you entered so many days before. Its clock hands unmoving in the absence. Actually, Actually, no. This would be wrong. This would actually be working perfectly fine. The quintessence engine would have been long since been replaced. The clock hands moving normally, going about tracking the various planes of Eberron, just as they had the day that you first arrived. Making your way to the... Go ahead.
Has Dalcor changed?
Make a perception check.
Makes me nostalgic for red.
No 10.
Right.
With a
I don't think I
10,
can tell.
doesn't appear so. Doesn't look like it.
Yeah. I only saw it maybe possibly have moved a minuscule of a bit
Right.
once.
Okay. So, making your way to the edge of the building, you peer down the dizzying drop to the ground far beneath. Not sure if the jump is harder the second time or not, but if you all are ready.
So we just need our brand new official crystals in order to get out of here, right?
As far as you know, and as far as you've been told.
I trust
Yuji
it
would walk
completely.
right towards the door and
Yep.
say, well, we came with a group hug. Why don't we leave with a group hug?
Fist bump.
Dimitri will put his hand on Yuji's shoulder and tear up just a little bit.
You've seen
Not
the
bad.
you've seen the videos of the people with the platforms over the trampolines doing all their things. Kay just like walks up, fist bumps Yuji, and just like steps off like the casual step off. And
There's no
Yeah.
crying and adventuring, and I jump off too.
Yep. Oh, I'm holding on. Ah! Jumping up.
Okay. Okay. So, you jump. The ground rushes towards you. And in the final moments before you strike solid earth, you feel a flicker of doubt. But then a flash of light, a pulling at your inward dimensions, and you find yourself hurtling back upwards through a deep river gorge towards a bridge lined with gleaming conductor stones. Your arcing ascent slows just as your feet reach the narrow bridge that you all jumped off of originally. You stand steadily, though your feet feel a little uncomfortable at the gentle swaying of the bridge back and forth. Making your way off the bridge to more solid footing, you see an elemental land cart coming your way, being pushed along one pump at a time by a very familiar dwarf with a crew cut and a neatly trimmed beard. He shouts out towards you all that you are a sight for sore eyes. He was quite worried that you all had went splat at the bottom. He was expecting you all back within a few hours, but after waiting a whole day, he figured you didn't make it. But he is here. He asks if you all want to ride.
That would be amazing. Your trust was not poorly placed.
He says, yeah, sure. He doesn't mention the fact that if it had been another few hours, he probably would have just went back to Irontown.
Probably.
But with that, everybody, we will go ahead and take our break. And when we get back, we will arrive in Irontown.
Woohoo!
All right, everybody. So we are back. You all have met up with Amaldi, who was driving a handcart around the bridge back and forth, waiting for you all to get back. Relieved to see you all. He has taken you all to Irontown. And there is apparently no rest for the Wicked or for the Clifftop Adventurers Guild, because when you arrive in Irontown, there is a letter there for you from Laura. It is hand-delivered. An Orion representative approaches you all. Hand-delivered by a courier from House Orion. The magical seal on the letter still unbroken.
Thank you for that. Guess we'll open it.
Okay. The letter reads, "Pack your cloaks. We need you back in Karnath. Meet me in Baronholm in Vulyar in 6 days' time. The Provost has found a local partner with a shared interest in the next artifact for his collection. Prepare for blood and bone. Guild Handler Lara, Clifftop Adventurers Guild. The letter is packaged with several all-expenses-paid House Orion vouchers for rail and road transport to Vulyar.
Well, that should be nothing but rail.
Yep, straight shot. You all will probably beat her there by a couple days.
Cool.
And that's still within Karnath?
It is. So,
It is,
a little bit of clarification, especially for Yuji. There is, especially with your new armor, Yuji, not bearing any... Are you still bearing insignia of the old Emerald Claw?
We're free of that finally now.
Okay.
Looks like new fancy armor. That's
So, remember the Emerald Claw is a fringe organization, a terrorist group even, within Karnath. The Karnath does not formally accept them. In fact, they are formally outlawed in Karnath. So just something...
Hence why Yuji left Karnath to go to Sharn.
Right. So there won't be any outright animosity towards you, Yuji, especially since you're not wearing any insignia from the Emerald Claw anymore. And even then, your older insignia likely wouldn't match up exactly with what they're wearing now, as you've all seen before. For those that don't know, the primary religion in Karnath is the Blood of Vol. Quick overview on that. Followers of the Blood of Vol religion are known as Seekers. Seekers utterly reject the gods and instead believe that divine power is a gift present in all living creatures. Divinity within is often symbolized with blood, and many Seeker rituals involve an element of personal sacrifice, a practice which has earned the faith a grim reputation with the uninitiated. Despite misconceptions of many within the Five Nations, Seekers of the Blood of Vol do not celebrate undeath. Sentient undead are to be pitied, according to the Blood of Vol, for they have given up the essential spirituality of their blood. However, undead within the church leadership may be considered martyrs for their cause, sacrificing their own divine potential so that they may remain in the land of the living and lend their aid to the Seekers. The Emerald Claw, as they've become a pretty prominent force in what we've been doing so far, they were shunned near the end of the last war. They were formed near the beginning of the last war as another branch of the military, an arm of one of their units, one of their organizations that helped fight the war. And later on in the war, they began the practice of slaughtering innocents in order to raise more undead. This was abhorrent to even the Karnathi who used the undead. The idea of cutting people down simply to raise as their servants is what got the Emerald Claw outlawed near the end of the war. So that's what we know so far.
So you might get mistaken for something. So you'll need to make sure to keep your hood up or your helmet closed.
I don't think it would be unusual for an undead to be wandering around.
It would not.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
Oh yeah, I guess not wearing the armor, so okay.
Yeah.
Right.
And a fun note to make that red teardrop I gave Red, it seems like an eternity ago, was Yuji giving up on the Blood of Vol because he doesn't have blood and he can't die, and so he feels like he's stuck in that he's never going to pass on, so that's why he gave up that religion. So I'm curious to see how it happens when he runs into other Seekers. That'll be neat.
A quick, would Warforged be moving around in Karnath?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Does anyone know a lore reason why they wouldn't be that I am unaware of?
So, Karnath had no Warforged during the war, but after the Treaty of Thronehold, Warforged were free to roam wherever they wanted to, and Karnath is one of the signatures of the the treaty, so you would be free to move about. There wouldn't be as many as there are in Greenland and other countries that were more open to Siren refugees, but Karnath is the only country that in the war that did not buy Warforged soldiers from.
I was going to say, isn't it in part because they didn't have the money because of the
famines,
The plagues and the famines.
the plagues,
That's
the
why they-
famines,
yeah.
the wars.
Yeah.
That's why
Karnath's
they
had a
leaned
rough
into
run.
necromancy.
So
Yeah.
they raised huge armies of undead, instead.
My favorite lore fact when I was digging around was that Karnath took undead fighters and put them on airships and then made them like drop troopers and would drop them behind enemy lines and create as much disruption as possible. I don't remember where I found that, but I was like, that's awesome. That sounds so cool.
That is pretty dope.
They're all undead, so you're not out anything. So good luck, guys.
Redefine
Go.
shock troop. I mean, it's not a whole lot of things are more shocking than a zombie landing in front of you from the sky.
Well, and likely to have been someone like one of your former soldiers that was recycled.
Yeah, you may know Bill as he jumps off of that plane or whatever. Wild.
Wild. All right. Okay, y'all.
This
Welcome
came
home.
to us very quickly. We were really not gone
Just
that
today.
long.
Yep.
I was looking for an opportunity to get back to Sharn at some point.
Let's get this done, and then we go back to Sean no matter what.
So we're moving in the right direction if we have to go over there anyway. So we're gonna have to pass through it anyway.
All right. Still many a journey left ahead of you all, and many returns to Sharn. After all, you've only recovered 5 of 13 artifacts.
Yeah, that's a lot. We got a long ways to go.
All right. So, you all have a bit of a train ride. You have some downtime. As per usual, you may use that downtime however you please. Let me go ahead and figure out exactly how long we have. On Lightning Rail, 30 miles a day. No, 30 miles per hour. 720 miles a day. So you get there in one day.
Not a lot of time.
No. But you do have several days. Okay, you do have several
We had
days.
2 weeks in Dawn V.
That is accurate. You had 10 days because you sped it up. So if
Oh,
you have
yeah,
any
yeah,
downtime
that's right.
activities you all would like to have done while you were there, we can take care of that now.
That was mostly a bunch of meditation for me, completing my transition to being Kalistar.
Awesome.
I wonder, did they have any languages there that I could learn? Well, I guess I was practicing being a wizard for a week.
Dimitri, I figured you and I were trying to decipher the
Yes.
book that we got from.
Ooh, yes, absolutely.
Never got Green Emerald Claw guy's name. Should
Oh, yeah, we
call
did not
Larry
get a
if
name
everyone's
from him.
okay with that.
Maybe we could call him
Larry.
Cypher.
Hey.
So you all spent at least a day or two going over that cipher and trying to figure it out, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Let's get investigation checks. We can do one at advantage since you all were helping each other.
All right. Let's see if I can make this work.
I'm also going to use my knowledge of the past ability.
26.
Oh, Jesus. Hold on here.
Okay, we had a one check at advantage, so that was Dimitri's. The 26. The name of the man who you all did away with in Dawn V was Malphus.
Spell that?
Malphas. He was under orders, of course, to retrieve the Quintessence engine. He also had in his notebook very specific descriptions of all of you. And, if it was possible, he had orders to search you all to see if you had any other artifacts of note on you.
Did it give? He's a soldier, so don't ask questions. But it did give a reason why he was looking for the quintessence engine.
With your 26, he simply has orders to recover the engine, but he does also have very detailed descriptions of the other 4 artifacts that you still recovered. Descriptions of the chains.
Any we haven't recovered yet?
Yes, actually.
Ooh.
There are 2 items described that you all have not recovered. One of them is a chess piece, or a conqueror's piece, I believe it's called here. Conqueror's. The other I'm having trouble finding a description of it. I know it's called the Duskgate Crucible, but I'm having trouble finding exactly what it looks like. But there is a description of another artifact. This one with ties to Thaliost.
Called the Duskgate
Crucible. Yep.
Is there any information about the organizational functions or locations, or any information that would help Yuji know more about this mysterious her?
No references to a her in his notebook. His orders seem to be coming directly from somebody who is referred to several times as Detritus. Roll a d8, Yuji.
That's a pretty sucky name for them.
God damn it on these three.
Another more childhood flashbacks for Yuji.
God damn it.
You must have had a very ordered life as a child, and so all of this order is just...
Can I use my sessional to
flashbacks.
re-roll that?
Sure.
Thank God, it's at least not a 3.
So for a 2... Okay.
It's a goddamn D8 and all I roll 3s. Jesus Christ.
Yuji, you hear the name, and it brings a sense of great pride to you at first, followed by an overwhelming sense of betrayal. You do know that name. You did know that name, I should say.
Okay, so the other 2 artifacts you said were mentioned in the cipher.
Yeah.
One was the Conqueror's breastplate or something like that.
Chest piece?
Chest piece. I assume that's from Shavarath, the Eternal Battleground.
It is not.
What is it? Does it say where it's from?
With the 26, you see it referred to as the Queen of Night.
The Mabar, the Endless Night. And you said where you say the crucible was
Thaliost?
from?
Thaliost.
And,
I'm trying to find.
Real quick, there was one last thing. Yuji, roll an insight check on yourself.
Yay.
Damn. Okay.
I'll use my new abilities, knowledge of the past. It gets me a... And then if I need to, I can use Favored by the Gods to get 2 more D6. I'm going to get an answer here.
Okay. So 12.
So then knowledge, yeah, and the knowledge of the past, or Favored by the Gods.
19. Yuji, the memories come crashing back to you. Detritus Bloodlathe, commander of the Emerald Claw of your time.
Blood what?
Bloodlathe.
Lathe.
Detritus
Got it.
Bloodlathe. Yuji, the last thing that you
Would he-
remember is the ornate horned helmet he would wear into battle.
Do my feelings give me any insight on what type of betrayal occurred?
No, I think with the 19, that's all you're going to get for now.
And one last question about the book. Are there descriptions of Lara or of Farius at all? Any reference to Farius?
You did roll very high. There is referencing of the Clifftop Adventuring Guild being after the same things that they are.
Mhm.
And there is a brief description of both Faris and Lara. Not
Okay.
as in targets, but more these are the people that are pulling the strings of our adversaries type of thing.
Ginger's question to the group is who's gotten close enough to know about this much information.
And Sharn, who knows?
I say the Emerald Claw has many spies. We don't know, and I don't know if we'll ever find out.
So, Thalios isn't a plane of existence. Thalios is a city in Thrain, just across the river.
Oh, I must have misread. One moment. I must have misread.
That's why I was confused.
No, I'm sure. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Interesting. Okay, yep. They're an occupied city. Sorry, I had to read ahead.
I understand. It might be that's where the Manifest Zone is.
It's the plane associated with lycanthropy.
Lamania,
Thank you.
the Twilight Forest. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I will share that information.
I had one more question as well. Was there any sort of references or insights onto the necromancy that brought him back? Might lead Yuji to more information on his creation or anything like that?
Nope. Not inside the cipher.
Cool.
You all have determined everything that you can from it. More than I was expecting, to be honest. But you got it.
Once we get back to the somewhere readily, I guess the Emerald Claw is wanted in Karnath too, or no?
They are outlawed in Karnath.
Oh yeah.
Does the person that we dispatched have any bounties on his head?
With your contacts, Tinge, and you wouldn't have very many contacts in Karnath, but you'd likely know where to find them. Malphus. We will leave that up to chance. Go ahead and we'll assume that this is done once you get to Valyar.
Oh yeah.
Vulyar. We'll assume that you do this once you get there, but we will leave that up to chance. we will say that there is a 30% chance that Malphus, the Bone Knight, did have a bounty on his head. He was being hunted specifically. There's not an open standing bounty on any Emerald Claw, nothing like that. But yeah, we'll call it a 200 gold piece bounty. Speaking of which, that is neither range, so unfortunately no bounty on him. So, but your letter did also say that you each receive 200 gold pieces for your job for the for recovering the engine.
Oh, so we got, because originally we were going to get 200 up front, 300 more.
So it would be 300.
Excellent.
Yeah,
Hey,
my
no.
impression of Emerald Claw and Karnath is a kill on sight, which is why Yuji fled.
Okay. So,
And we don't-
Vuliar, go ahead.
We don't want to say anything about those loyalty bans to anybody.
No, they will be securely positioned in a bag of holding.
I have one on me, hidden with all my
They
other
will
awful
all
trinkets.
be, except for one, that will fall into the wrong hands and get us all killed. Got it.
Not that bad.
That's about right.
Fantastic. So, arriving in Vuliar. So, Vuliar is a large town in southern Karnath. It does lie directly on the Lightning Rail route, so you all are able to get there without any issue at all. It is a relatively larger town. The people here kind of sallow is not the right word, although it is kind of fitting for a place like Karnath. But hardy. It's extremely cold here. Lara was not kidding when she said to pack your winter gear. Bitingly chilly, not snowing or anything, just high desert cold. But yeah, icy winds bite as you ride in aboard the lightning rail. The folk here are dour and sturdy, wrapped in thick cloaks and striding with purpose towards their destinations. As you look around, the streets are patrolled by soldiers with polished armor and shining steel swords. The Red Wolf of Karnath is emblazoned on their shields. Most of the townsfolk treat the patrols with utmost respect, and many of the elders offer a salute to soldiers as they pass. You're quickly able to determine that the Baronhold Inn has earned pride of place in Vuliar's Central Square. Beside the entrance to it, a caravan is distributing Ondarian grain to local businesses and residents. You all are all here quite early as far as Lara's instructions, so you do have the city to yourself for a while. There are 3 main districts, each named after the gate leading out. There's the Iron Gates leading towards Irontown and the Moorholds, the Wood Gate leading towards the Five Nations, and the Sand Gate leading south to Fort Bones and Gatherhold. You all have about 5 days worth of downtime here in Vuliar. Inn stays are not covered. There'll be 2 silver apiece for any of you that are planning on staying in an inn. But yeah.
I think we should.
Yeah. I'm just going to move 5 gold pieces for room, board, and entertainment.
I like how Yuji's become the group token.
The party token.
I can't access it. I'd move that if I could, but I don't have that.
Well, right, this is your old token, isn't it? No, this is your new token. Huh.
During those days, can I find an apothecary or potion shop?
Yeah.
Looking for a potion of invisibility and a potion of heroism.
Vuliar is a fairly large town. I'd say you could find both of those. Are you taking Yuji with you?
If Yuji would like to come.
I'm down to party. Let's go.
I'm just shopping right
I got
now.
new armor. I'd walk around like I own the place again. No, that's a lie. I would not do that.
If Yuji and I are out shopping together, I will form a mental link with Yuji. Yuji, you can speak to me telepathically as well.
Okay.
Trying to decide if I play that off as a joke or if it's a serious thing. I think Yuji just understand and acknowledge.
Okay.
I think Dimitri will probably stay with them, not knowing where else to go. But really enjoying the architecture and other fun things here. Never, ever been to Karnath.
I always pictured it as like Gothic style. Everything's dark and dreary. And I'm happy.
Kind of get that feeling too.
I would imagine this area of Karnath may be a bit different than central Karnath because we're right next to the Talenta Plains. So I'm thinking more like almost like old West, you know, town built on a plain and everything's flat. We have all the feral halflings wandering about.
But is this city a relatively big city?
It is. It is indeed. Okay.
Tinge is going to accompany the group wherever they go to.
It's a big group outing.
Indeed. Okay, fantastic. All right. So, you do find an apothecary. Once you all enter in, the shop is very dimly lit, except for by red lanterns around. You quickly recognize this as the shopkeep of someone that must be a devout follower of the Blood of Vol. And as such, when she sees all of you, she kind of gives you a greeting. She can obviously tell that you are of the Five Nations for the most part. And then her eyes fall onto Yuji, and you see a hint of sadness cross her face, and she mutters a prayer, or more of a rite, kind of saying that she's sorry for the state that you find yourself in, Yuji. And she asks what she can do for you all. She would introduce herself as Lilith Nightshade.
I think Yuji would stand proud and do not mourn for our dead. Death is only the beginning for me, and there is more in my time to come.
Including the possibility of redemption and rebirth. Hi, Lilith.
She gives you all a nod. She's very soft-spoken. Looks to be human, very pale skin. Yeah, her shop has lots of very curious things. It seems that she has a penchant for the macabre. A variety of dark and creepy items in her shop, as well as many potions available.
And I would say, my friends who accompanied me, I am particularly searching for a couple of different potions. I'm hoping you might have them. One of invisibility and one of heroism.
She nods and says that those are rather common brews. She does have them on hand.
And then how much would you charge for them?
So,
The same books as 180 each.
180 each. So,
What does heroism do? I'll look for it. Don't worry.
Okay. So she would say that they are normally 200 gold apiece. However, due to the great sacrifice that your friend bears, she will give them to you for 150 each.
Thank you very, very much. And I will count our money and gladly take possession of those two.
Would looking around the shop, would any sort of trinkets catch Yuji's eye with what he does know about Karnath or Blood of Vol or Emerald Claw or anything like that?
There's a lot of vaguely creepy things, like a hand, like one of those shrunken hands that's missing its pinky finger and its ring finger, kind of wrapped up. Things like that.
I think Yuji would inquire about another blood teardrop after giving his to Red. Yeah.
Lilith would offer you hers.
As you do.
And how much would you like for this?
She says that you can take it, again, for the great burden that you bear.
I look partially annoyed and respectfully take it and then put 10 gold in her hand.
Yuji, you would notice, especially after this encounter, a general atmosphere of pity towards you, towards anyone that notices
Yeah.
your nature.
Yep, I got that.
That's very kind. Mistress Nightshade,
She glances towards you.
is there somewhere we're not here for long, and I personally have never been Karnath before. Is there something that you would recommend for us to see while we're here, or something to experience before we leave? I want to get an appreciation for the land.
Says, Vuliar isn't exactly a cultural hub for Karnath.
Where there are people, there's culture.
And she would agree and say that you should visit perhaps one of the Blood of Vol temples, of which there are many here.
Thank you. I think that's a good idea.
Are we off to the temple then? Anything else?
I have nothing else for her. So, sure, if no one has any qualms against it, absolutely. Blood of Vol. Let's go see the temple. If they make us like walk in like Catholics and instead of like anointing yourself with holy water, anoint yourself with blood, I'm out.
You wanted to see the culture. Now you get to see the culture.
I reserve the right to pass judgment.
I think Yuji would point out that, you know, the 100 Years' War, while horrible, Karnath suffered probably the largest number of casualties. And so that's still a strong memory. Martial law is still intact in a lot of areas. The war is still fresh wounds in their minds.
I can only imagine. Just knowing how Kenneth provided soldiers of sorts to every nation except for Karnath, and because the soldiers that were provided weren't family, weren't friends, they weren't people that the other soldiers fighting the war knew, there's no one to carry the burden of their loss. But in Karnath, I couldn't imagine seeing maybe the same person die over and over again. It wasn't an easy decision I'm sure someone made to raise an army of undead, but still unsettling.
Desperate times, desperate times. The winters are cold here.
Dimitri, how much do you know of the Blood of Vol?
I know nothing. Little more than anything that Yuji has spoken of. Religion was not something that was taught in my family, and most assuredly not Karnathi religion.
Yuji, correct me if I'm wrong, but followers of the Blood of Vol believe that once you are dead, everything of importance has left, and the body is simply, I mean, it's like you fell a tree and you cut lumber from it. It is a raw material to be used.
And it's a great reward for those who are reused.
They continue, while their soul has left, their body continues to serve and protect their family and their nation.
Well, I think you two are talking about two different things, or unless you're both talking about raising someone as undead.
Not raising someone, raising a thing, a body. That's what the Blood of Vol says.
I can. The logical part of me recognizes that when someone is gone, that whatever it was that keeps their body alive and sentient, the soul, spirit, whatever it is, I have seen enough miraculous things in my life to recognize that there is something there to be said for it. When that departs, it's gone. But there's something, easily a simple word to overuse, unholy about undeath that makes it seem like there's a part of someone still trapped in there under torment. If it was a blind automaton walking about, that would be one thing, but there's something cruel and unnatural about them.
I think
You want
that-
to
Go ahead.
Yuji would begrudgingly provide a slight lesson that Blood of Voles see that everyone has a divine spark in them, and that when they die, that is the end. That spark no longer exists within you, and the body returns to the community. That's something for Karnath to use to better the people who are here. It's a great reward to be reused time and time again in a country that needed so much.
And zombies and skeletons, they really are nothing more than automatons to a certain extent. Yuji is something different, as are some of the, as we learned in the Dark Lanterns, there are those who chose a different form of undeath that is considered a great sacrifice, is it not, to be the living undead, such as the vampire lords and mummies that serve in the Blood of Vol temples?
You saw as that lady looked upon me, not as a war hero, but someone who is suffering greatly. The Blood of Vol follows that doctrine that we are sacrificing for everyone's divinity.
Well, I'm not here to argue other people's beliefs. I think that the simple act of faith is good. I think more religions give us rules to if people actually followed them, there'd be the betterment of everyone. But I think, I don't know, the blood of Vol, that it sounds almost like it was written at a time when they were needing people to say, it's okay, use my body to fight a war because I'm dead.
You don't take one page of a book and surmise its whole story.
Oh no. No. That would be... No, you can't possibly do that. If you've got a book, I'll be happy to read a book.
Where we're going, there will be plenty of books.
Oh, yes, they'll probably give them away for free. As long as there's not some sort of indoctrination program associated with it, I'm happy to read.
Usually would point out that the blood of Vol is synonymous with the land of Karnath. The religion was founded within the culture that these people believe. They're intertwined. A lot of the ideas in the blood of Vol are very constantly shown throughout Karnathian society. The gods are cruel. They're hoarding immortality from you. We are trying to get to be immortal.
Sometimes I like the idea of immortality. You know, the endless opportunity to learn everything that there is to learn, never feel the rush to move on. But I think that there's something to be said for rest.
You'll probably see a very defeated look over Yuji's face.
You've got a second opportunity to find your way to the right destination for you. I don't think... Well, I don't know. Tinge probably has eternity stretching out in front of him. And I hope that for him.
Maybe.
We really don't know yet.
I am certain that when I complete my quest, rest is what is waiting for me. I cannot wait to close my eyes and move on.
Okay. All right. So, nearing the outskirts of town, it is an isolated building. Large, steepled towers. They seem decorative, ornamental. The main structure itself is rather stylized, Gothic architecture. Again, rising spires. Seems to be almost fashioned after skeletal fingers reaching up, however, very much not made to look like bone. That's just the imagery that comes to mind. But yeah. Pointed arches, ribbed vaults, intricate stone carvings depicting various supernatural creatures, mummies, vampires, other honored undead. The interior is dark. Seems to be intentionally kept that way. From the exterior, you do not see any lights. The only light is from small red lanterns that seem to be aligned along altars. The altars do appear to be all stained with blood. Each of them has a cutting or a pointed implement on it of some kind. It's easy to understand why the blood of Vol gets such is looked at so cautiously.
Bad rap.
Right, that's why it's got such a bad rap. When you look in here, it's easy to think like, oh, these people just sacrifice unwilling creatures or whatever, but all of the blood that you see here was given willingly by participants as a symbol of their own sacrifice. But yeah.
Well, I will take in and the environs, and I don't want to disturb anyone. Where would something to read, some sort of about the blood of all material Blood of Vol for Dummies or something such as that.
Hay will actually stay just outside of the temple.
Okay. Okay. So, as you're kind of looking around, you do hear a voice from nearby, Dimitri. Yuji, you're inside as well, right?
Yep.
And Tinge?
Still is the statue outside.
Got it.
And as long as Yuji is within 70 feet of me, I have a mental connection with him.
Got it.
What's that range?
70 feet.
Oh, that's pretty far. That's pretty good.
The temple itself is rather small too, so it would be relatively easy to stay in that range. All right. So you hear a voice, low, almost dry, as if sand kind of blowing around. You hear this raspy, windy voice welcome you all. It says, "You are not of the blood of Vol."
No. No.
Says, "What brings you to this place?"
Sightseeing.
Yes, I guess that's the best way to say it. We're here temporarily, and I've never had the opportunity to visit Karnath, and I wanted to experience something. And although one of the shop patrons was, humble enough to say that this is not a cultural mecca, she did suggest that we visit a temple to the blood of Vol. I'd like to learn about it academically. There's something I can read.
He says that he doesn't carry histories of the blood here. This is a place of worship. However, the libraries, he kind of looks you. He says the libraries of Sharn would likely have all of the academic information that you need.
Okay. Well, would it be too much to ask to maybe get a tour of the temple? I don't want to be rude. I don't want to trespass anywhere that I would not be welcome. But if we are welcome, if outsiders are welcome to see, I'd be happy to.
He kind of glances back towards Yuji, and then looks back towards you, Dimitri, and gestures you further inside.
As we're walking, Yuji would point out, do not give them any of your blood. Unless you want to join.
No.
Just a heads up.
Just a heads up.
He's going to ask for it.
Plan to keep everything sealed inside. Thank you. It's comforting to know that I'm not here alone. Although, maybe that's not the right words to say in someone's house of religion.
It's a little eerie. I've given up this religion. It's weird being back in a temple that I never thought I'd be back in.
Right. Okay. So he would begin to tell you a bit about it. Mostly what Yuji's already told you, that it's a decentralized religion that worships the divinity within. And that the blood is the source of that divinity, the blood of living creatures. He would tell you that it is the state religion of Karnath, which is perhaps why, when asking the culture of the place, you were directed here. It is the state religion, made so by Caius I at the start of the last war. It was revoked. The state religion status was revoked after the last war, or near the end of it. However, it is still widely practiced.
Oh, so it's no longer the state religion.
Think Catholicism in Italy.
Right. Right.
You can't get rid of a good thing, I guess.
So,
All right, I will thank him for the time, and if there's, I don't know, like a little donation box or something. Is that how the blood of all works? But if there's
he
a
would
donation box,
gesture towards one of the altars that's full of pointy things.
I will leave a coin on the table. And
All I can think of is, damn it, tourists. I mean, Jesus.
I know. Like I'm gonna. It was everything in my power to not pull out my little sheet of paper and start taking magical pictures of everything.
Usually you'll give the priest a nod and then kind of twirl his newly purchased red teardrop and then walk out. So
He would take his hood down and give you a nod, and you get the impression that you can see faint red light shining through his face in various places.
Where eyes should be. Oh, through his face. Got it.
As if not all of his face was present. Light from the lanterns behind him shining through.
Gotcha.
he's probably another undead is what I assumed. Yeah. They're
Okay.
everywhere here. I told you.
Did someone just read? Alright.
So outside,
Yes.
I'm, and I assume Tinge as well, are making sure that we aren't being followed or stalked.
Make a perception check. It does not appear that you are.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
We'll go out, and then unless anyone has anything else explicit that we want to do, I'm happy to go wait.
Yeah. Just do normal type stuff.
Yeah.
Eating, drinking, catch a play.
I mean, in honor of our former companion Silas, I feel like we should go gamble somewhere.
Gamble somewhere.
Okay. Well, there would certainly be gambling at the Baronholm Inn, just among other outsiders mainly. But yeah, we can leave some things up to chance while you're here. How do we want to do this? Okay, we'll just do a quick, did you all want to gamble with the people in the inn? Is that what we're doing?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
So we
In
will
honor of
do
Silas.
this. Right. So we will do this simply. Let's go ahead and just play a quick round of Baldur's Bones. That is
there a
21.
Is there a skill or tool proficiency that would assist me in this?
Are you trying to cheat?
No.
Then
I'm trying to be skilled.
it's a 21 dice game, so there is no
I particularly have a very interesting set of dice that we got from someone that we could use in said dice game. We got that Charlatan's dice. I can't remember from who,
Charlatan's
but I still
dice?
have it. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, Charlatan's dice. I still have that too.
Okay.
So usually would reveal those and say, well, we can play with these.
I don't know that I want to cause trouble like that here. I'm happy to take my chance on a game of chance.
Yeah, same.
So Yuji, if you do decide to use those, you can turn any die result into a 6. So basically, you'll roll 3 d6s. We'll say that there are 2 people at the bar that I will represent. We'll go in order of appearance in the journal. So Dimitri first, then Tinge, then Kay, then Yuji, and then my 2 characters, my 2 NPCs.
Okay.
You'll roll 3d6. The first one to 21, or the closest to 21, when everyone's done rolling, wins. And if you go over, you lose. Simple. Yuji, if you do decide to use the Charlatan's dice, you can change any 1 die rolled into a 6 at any time. If you do it more than once, it will be required to have a sleight of hand check.
Cool.
Well,
Oh, we're going in
We
order.
have to.
Oh, there's Dimitri.
Dimitri,
First.
and then Tinge. Okay.
Oh, I hit the wrong button. Hold on a second.
Okay.
Huh.
Yuji, are
I
you
will,
using your Charlatan's dice?
I will use my fancy dice.
Okay.
So I
Go
feel
ahead
like
and
it's a
roll,
bad idea.
roll regularly first.
Consequences.
Consequences. Oh.
that's hilarious. 12, 11, 10, 9.
I know.
Oh,
way to go, team.
nice. All right, Yuji. Which one of those are you turning into a 6? The one, probably.
The obvious one. The
yeah.
one.
So go ahead and change your 9 into a 14. So just type 14. Yeah, there you go. Okay, and then I'll go.
You get an 8.
We're so close. Oh my gosh.
You robbed me.
Really pushing for that straight.
Right. Okay, so we did forget how much are each of you betting? We'll say that whoever you're betting with is matching you.
Oh yeah, 5 gold. That's all I was doing.
Big spender.
Jesus,
20.
I didn't realize everyone was only doing like 5 or 10. I can bring that
I'm
number
doing
back
20.
down.
If I'm gambling, I'm gambling.
Does this
Okay.
house have people that can afford 20 GP?
We'll say that these 2 put in 5. Yeah, let's keep it at 5, everybody. 5
Yeah,
per
okay.
sounds more reasonable. 5 per. Okay, so there is a total of 30 gold in there. Okay, Dimitri, you roll
So-
1d6
Okay.
on each round, and you can stop at any time. So that puts you. Go ahead and put beneath that your total, which is 13.
Ah.
And Tinge. Okay, and your total. Nice. Okay. Yuji? You didn't even have to use your Charlatan dice on that one.
I'm gonna say I'm good. I'm gonna stop there.
Okay, and that leaves the last 2 for me. Puts him at 13. 12, you're right. And him at 14. Dimitri?
I went from winning to last place. Ooh, 19.
19, nice.
Is that right? 19 is. Right.
Nice.
Wow.
There it is.
I was robbed. Whoa.
Oh, hey, fancy.
Fancy things.
Okay. Hmm. Fancy. Okay.
Was it first to get to 20 or until everyone bails?
Until everyone bails. So anyone that wants to can continue
Oh.
to try to get to Tinge.
If that's the case, then I'll roll and see what happens.
Well, I guess there's no consequence for, like,
Going over means you're out, so.
yeah, but I'm at a 19, so I'm. Still
Yeah, that's why I thought I
51.
passed. but
Yeah, Tinge is
Yeah.
pretty much won. Everyone else is just trying to tie him now.
Yeah.
All right, I'll try.
I'll try. I
And
guess.
I'm out.
Boo!
Oh, snap!
Hey, there it is.
And that brings us to the last two guys. Damn. Okay. Is anyone else still left in?
I don't think so.
Okay. Okay, he's out. And so is he. Okay. So Kay and Tinge split the 30 gold.
So, plus 10.
Well, that was fun.
Yeah.
Take my money. I'm down to 2 gold. Well, on me, I have money in the
Mhm.
bank. That's just what I run around with.
Right,
My
right.
mad money.
That covers our eating and drinking until Laura arrives.
Okay. So, a couple of days goes by, and you all come down in the morning from one of your rests to see Lara, sitting in one corner, laughing over a joke, leaning back with her boots propped up on the table. Besides her, a half-elf man is politely suffering her boisterous tales. Looks to be a middle-aged, having strands of gray mixed in. Deep black of his hair. Military cut. Beard and mustache neatly trimmed. Skin is dark. His eyes are deep brown. His ears peek into very subtle points. There's a stern expression with the surety of nobility. His leather cuirass is emblazoned with the rising sun symbol of Dol Aura, the goddess of light. Seeing you all jump down, Lara jumps up and waves you over, and she says, "I can't believe you all beat me here so quickly." Waves
We
you all
have-
over and waves over the barman. It's like 8 in the morning. Laura's obviously been into it a little bit already.
Yeah.
Not day drinking if you don't stop.
There you go.
Tinge's only comment: when have we ever underperformed?
She nods and acknowledges that. She says that she is very glad to see you all. And she was just about to buy another round, but since it's about business time, it may be time to calm down a bit. She rubs a pendant at her neck. You see a wave of just this really quick white light wash over her, and all of the inebriation leaves from her. She says, "I'd like to introduce you to Vedem Irdurna." The half-elf man beside her stands and bows his head, then steps forward to offer his hand. "It's a pleasure to meet you all." He speaks in a mumbling baritone. "When Lara and the Provost contacted me, I knew the Lady of Light had chosen to favor me."
I stand up and offer him my hand. Hey, Vekri, at your service.
Nice to meet you, Dimitri Decana. Is that? I guess traveling in Karnath is okay regardless of your religion, right?
Yeah.
He
Okay.
nods and says that he has not been harassed.
They're very nice people here.
Okay. He asks you, Dimitri, how you would like to be addressed. He's heard that you are of a dragon-marked family. He asks if there's a title that you'd prefer to go by.
Generally Dimitri's fine. I'm not here representing House Decana, unless the situation presents itself. But officially, I'm here for me.
All right. He nods, and Lara says, "To business, then." And she waves off the bartender and instead has him bring you all some breakfast. And with that, Vedim proceeds. And he tells you all that the provost, your client and now your mutual benefactor, contacted him when he had read of his family history. He says, "As I'm sure you will know, there are factions among my countrymen that see fit to desecrate our fallen by returning them to the battlefield under the curse of undeath." He kind of gives a glance to Yuji.
Oh, don't
Yuji
worry,
would
he's
most
not
definitely give him a hard look back.
He takes a deep breath and continues. He says, "My grandfather, Kaida Irdurna." He waits to see if any of you recognize the name.
Do we?
No.
Do we?
Do I? I don't know.
No, you guys don't. But he says that Kaida Ildura once held dominion over a fortress close to the border of the Talenta Plains, not far from here. He sought to rescue it from... Actually, one second. Yuji, make a history check.
Bones. Yikes, I might know this. Yikes.
You might know
okay.
this.
There it is.
Good job,
Come on.
Yuji. Performing as
Missed that
expected.
part of the combat. Yep.
But he
The other
does
side
go
of the
on.
country at that time.
Says that his grandfather sought to rescue it from its previous owner, a necromancer named Gerner Schultz. Schultz had been drawing on the power of Mabar, the Endless Night, to empower his profane creations. My grandfather put a stop to these evil practices, but was forced out by factions loyal to the blood of Vol. Schultz's successors have now twisted my family's birthright into a den of evil. By Ara's crown, call it Fort Bones now, they do. Vedim slams his fist into the table, rattling the mugs of ale. Laura kind of puts a hand on his shoulder, like kind of a chill out, dude. Kind of. And then finishes the story for him. She says that Faris has learned of an artifact belonging to the fort's Captain of Bones, a Conqueror game piece called the Queen of Night. It is written that the artifact draws on the power of a Manifesto attuned to Mabar. Steal the Queen, get it to the Provost, and deal a blow to the necromantic factions in Otakar all at the same time. Everyone wins. And then she looks towards you, Yuji. And the days or weeks that it may take you to get back to Sharn with the piece may give you an opportunity to learn more about your unique situation.
Our unique situation?
She said that specifically to Yuji.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I know what she's talking about.
So is this, or what they doing with this piece? I know it's wrong. Is it illegal?
Probably neither.
No, it sounds wrong.
So, she would say... Actually, Vedim would answer this for you. He would say that the Queen of Night belongs to no one. The fact that they are using it to perpetrate their own wars and their own battles against the Talenta Veins and the Valinor Elves in itself could be considered morally wrong. As the legend says, that the piece itself is both a cursing and a blessing. The fact that they're using it for their own gains without thought of how it could help others could consider that morally illegal. Looks towards Lara and he says, Vedum would say that your guild leader here has assured me that your Provost Furious intends to use this for the greater good of all of Eberron. Surely a more noble goal than raising undead forces to fight against elves and halflings from the plains.
I don't disagree. I was just trying to understand the consequences of what we were being asked to do. If this tool is truly being used for the betterment of the nation, to raise an army to fight whatever conflict they're choosing to fight currently, and we go into this place and take it away, then it's not just taking something from a faction within a group, it's potentially trying to start a new war of sorts. And that's something that requires a lot of thought.
He would say that the Captain of Bones, that fort, Karnath in general, shouldn't be in possession of that item to begin with. It was never theirs. They are unlikely, as a nation. Individuals, perhaps, may pursue you, but as a nation, they would not want to admit they were even using it to begin with, let alone start a conflict over its disappearance.
So, I have a number of questions.
Mm-hmm.
Question number 1. We're going to jump toward the end. Once we have this thing, we are either the other side of Karnath or the other side of the Mournland from those who might want to take it away from us. Is this something we're going to be able to travel with without having to fight our way across all of Karnath? I personally don't want to go back in the Mournland to avoid Karnath.
He would say that passage home has been arranged for you, and Lara would nod in agreement.
Other questions. Where in the fort is it? What is guarding it? How do we get in?
Okay. He would say that Captain Dorn carries the piece with her for much of the day. Her timetable is as rigid as a Warforged. No offense, he says to Tinge. I have heard she sometimes stores it in the crypts, but you'll have to find the when and where of it once you're inside. You can take my grandfather's map of the fortress with you. And then he would say, getting in, the fort has more than its fair share of raids by Valinor elves crossing the plains. His sources tell him they're mustering currently, and their attack could be the perfect time to find an opening into the fort. Alternatively, you could find a less quiet entry by joining the Company of Bones. They're always eager for new blood. He looks towards Yuji. You may not even need to try too hard to prove your worth. Otherwise, I hear that a bureaucrat from Autur is on her way to inspect the Kind's operations. You might find a place in her entourage if you know your way around a lie.
Say that last one again.
There's a bureaucrat on their way to inspect the operations of the head necromancer of the fort. He says that you might find a place in her entourage if you know your way around a lie. Basically, if you can talk your way into her entourage.
Right. I'm not one for lying, and I'm not one for lying to fake join something. I think that we've proven ourselves that to take the most direct route when given multiple options.
I would agree with that.
So
I'm
sneak
inclined
in
for
during the
option
attack?
And we may be able to, if we participate, might be able to save lives.
one. Lose lives.
Right. Vedim would say that there's not
Anyone.
many lives to save at the fort. Most of its contingent, the vast majority of its contingent is undead.
I suspect
There's
that, but I imagine the Valinar are living when they come.
that they are. That they are.
Yuji will like look at Laura with a large level of disdain, trying to understand why in the world she thought our group would be the best group for this project.
Maybe she knows one of you has a better chance of going unnoticed and getting you special treatment inside the fort. Pragmatist, if you will.
But with the Valinor, though, really?
And what's sought, I guess we're the special crew getting all of these pieces of the puzzle. So this is one of those pieces.
I
This
also do
one-
remember some of you saying, when you need this job, the jobs like this done, don't go to anyone else, go to us.
I blame Tinge for that. I have never said that in my life. Yuji would have clear disdain for pretending to join the Valinor, would rather obviously pretend to join the company. Or heck, even join the company.
What are they paying?
They have plenty of mercenaries there that would be happy to inform you of that. Saying, in fact, the only living people that are at the fort are mercenaries that show up there because of the high coin they pay.
Or was your question to Laura, like, what's the compensation for this exceedingly dangerous and questionable mission?
She kind of looks each of you over and sees your apprehension. She says, perhaps this one is worthy of a slightly higher compensation. She says she'll give you each 800 upon your return to Sharn.
God damn.
Okay.
So,
Okay, then.
pretty good chance we're gonna die.
Do you have any detailed drawings of this object we're supposed to find?
She says, have you ever played Conquer? Many of you have, I'm sure. And she says that it looks like the queen piece from that game. It's basically just the queen from a chess set.
Is this one have any particular markings on it?
She says no markings, but from what she understands and what she's heard,
Material.
you will know it when you possess it. It leaves a mark on those who carry it.
Yeah. That does
What,
what I want Yuji to do.
Well, I was gonna say, is it known? I know. Would Yuji know that there's Marbarian? What is it called? Little portal
Energy.
at the Fort of Bones.
It is a manifest zone.
Manifest Stone. There it is.
Yes,
Would
that it would
Yuji
be
know that?
that would be known.
I think Yuji would express his apprehension for going so close to a manifest zone, and likely grabbing hold of a manifest zone piece.
That's kind of what we do.
Yep. She said the job would never. She never said the jobs would be easy, and yeah.
If death is only the beginning, I guess we'll go.
All right, everyone. With that, Vedim passes you over the map of Fort Bones. And when we come back next week, you all can plan your entrance and plan your heist of the Queen of Night.
Will that map be in the the journal